All right, welcome in. It is a Monday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, and happy Labor Day to everybody out there who's laboring like James and I are here in the Weather Center / Stream Center, Weather Impact Studio, whatever we're going to call it today. But we are talking Labor Day. A lot happening, actually. We've got, it's kind of weird that Labor Day falls on exactly September 1st, which is the meteorological beginning of autumn. So we're changing seasons, and yes, that is the thing. We're going to talk about it with Tim. This always seems to be very controversial with the public because for whatever reason, we were raised on astronomical seasons. They're on calendars. No one told you about the meteorological seasons, which aren't new, by the way, since records have been kept since 1850. That's the way records for weather and climate have been kept. So we'll talk about that. But let's focus on the good stuff because it is beautiful. It is the first day of autumn. Meteorologically, it looks amazing out there. I mean, just look at these views. It's just, you can't ask for a better day like this with no humidity, as my computer decides to lock me out real quick. So I'll have to log back in real quickly, but we'll just gaze at those views because
logging in only takes 2 or 3 minutes. So
why did my computer go to sleep so quick? It's like it's on Labor Day holiday as well. So yeah, the beautiful views out there. I mean, look at the blue skies. To me, that's the biggest thing I noticed looking outside today, is how crystal clear and blue the skies are. That's always a good sign that the humidity is low because haze in and of itself can form when we have humidity out there, especially kind of the muggy days. The dew points today are in the 40s basically, which I'll show you here in a minute. I'll try to play my show now that it actually let me back in.
It's a very nice day to travel too.
Yes.
If you're coming back from a holiday break, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to be traveling right now because there's nobody on the roads. And my family just got back from Houston. They were down there visiting family, and they flew in this morning, had little trouble. So let's look back at August now that we can actually put it in the record books. Make no bones about it. August 2025 was a cool August. It was our 32nd coolest, and I know that seems weird, but yeah, it wasn't the coolest all time. We've had some stretches in there where it was really cool, but overall, 32nd coolest. But it was the coolest in Charlotte since 2013. In fact, it tied with 2013 on that list. 2.5 degrees below average. We had that heat in the middle of the month. That's when we got to 94. But the end of the month, we got that nice dry air. And look at that, 59 was our lowest. And the rainfall. Yeah, we got a ton of rain, but it all happened in the first 2 weeks. It really has not rained in the past 2 weeks. We actually could use some rain. Look at these temperatures. I mean, this is just chef's kiss. I mean, it is unbelievable. Upper 70s, near 80. We got mid 60s in the mountains. And look at the dew points. Dew points this low, you get that nice reverse heat index. It feels cooler than the actual air temperature. And so that's why it feels so good out there right now. The high today, 81, the low 58. Nowhere near the records, but also nowhere near our averages, which are 86 and 67. So sunrise just before 7 a.m. now. Tonight, comfortable. This is going to be one of those nights where I think if you had a fire pit going, it would be a good night because mid-50s, it's going to be crisp and cool in the morning when you wake up tomorrow for your Tuesday morning. So off to school and back to work for everybody should be very comfortable. There are some showers over in western part of the state, southwestern North Carolina, eastern Tennessee. There's kind of a little disturbance rotating through there. But for us, we're pretty high and dry. And when you look at the wider view, we do have a cold front that could approach on Saturday, which we'll talk about the little heat that's going to build ahead. But tomorrow, if you love today, tomorrow equally as nice, back up around 80 degrees. Surface map kind of shows you our future cast. Notice no big storm systems heading our way. The flow is still generally out of the northwest, but right there, that's a cold front that we're going to keep an eye on for Thursday into Saturday, because this cold front is going to be right here. I'll use my arrow. You see it right there. That cold front is probably going to get stuck up there, and that's going to lead to some pretty hot and humid weather ahead of it. But if the front gets a little push, we might see it get pushed through the area and could be much cooler. But keep an eye on that. Saturday's a big transition day. Dew points stay relatively low until we get to that Thursday front to the northwest, and then they could hover in the 60s. So I wouldn't call it muggy, but it's certainly going to be more humid than what we just experienced. And as I mentioned, we could use some rain. 5-day rainfall forecast is not amounting to much. So if your lawn is drying out and your garden's drying out, you're going to have to do some irrigation. And we're getting to that point where people are going to start aerating and overseeding their lawns here pretty soon. So people are going to want to see some rainfall without too much heavy rain. We got to talk about the tropics. The other thing about the calendar flipping to September is this is the peak of hurricane season. The peak day is September 10th. So we are right in the core of the season. And we've had a lull. It's been quiet for the last couple of weeks. And remember, we had a lull like this last year in August and into early September. And then like the middle of the month, something happened. We had this switch go off, and the Atlanta got real active. And unfortunately, one of those storms ended up being Helene, and then we had Milton, and it got really active there for a while. I suspect we'll see something very similar happen this September, but that's the only system, that tropical wave, 50% chance in the next 7 days, so no threats to the U.S. Interesting upper level pattern, kind of looks like it is late fall. We're seeing a dip in the jet stream come down from the Great Lakes. That keeps us cool, but then Saturday, that little area of high pressure off the East Coast that we call the Bermuda High tries to back up a little bit on us. So we're going to see some heat try to nose into the southeast, especially if there's a cold front stuck just to our northwest, and that will likely keep us kind of on the toasty side. So the forecast, we'll get right to the 7-day here. Temperatures could approach 90. I knew I'd jinx it by saying we were done with the 90s. We've got a chance 2 days really this week, Friday and Saturday. Now, it's all going to hinge on that front. If that front somehow gets down here quicker, pushes out, then we could actually see some much cooler weather than this. But if it stays to the northwest, we could get stuck kind of on the hot side. And we'll go 10 days in the future here and show you once that front does clear us sometime this weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, we are going to be much cooler next week with temperatures only in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So kind of a little bit of a break from the heat and humidity. So Tim Buckley is going to be joining me here momentarily, and one of the hot topics today is going to be this: the start of meteorological fall. Why does it differ than the astronomical ones? Why does your calendar lie to you and tell you the official start is the 22nd? It doesn't lie to you, but it's telling you something completely different that has nothing to do with weather and climate. We'll dive into that. Plus, we'll look back at August, and we'll talk about a whole bunch of things as we're now getting into the fall season and obviously the tropics. But we've got to go to break here. We'll be coming up here in about 2 minutes, and Tim will join me from WFMY. Maybe we'll talk a little college football, which kicked off this weekend and still going on tonight. Stay tuned.